Hello, Facebook and YouTube. I'm trying to make my way out of here. What's up, Facebook and YouTube? You watching this on Facebook? Make sure that you hit the turn on notification button whenever I go live. Right, you watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel, right? So you will get the notification whenever I go live, right? So real quick, as I'm leaving my destination, hello everyone tuning in, chiming in, coming in. Queen of credit, cash flow, debt collectors, you know, whatever I've been to you on a financial tip, I really appreciate it. And so, right, I'm a speaker at a women's conference. So if you're in the Mississippi area, you definitely want to come out Saturday, right? Because the information that I share with you, wow, I just seen an alert as I'm going live. Forever 21 is filing bankruptcy, right? Forever 21, another retail store or company or business has been hit. So we are definitely in the times of recession, and recession can be a good or bad thing. It all depends on how you prepare for it, right? For the rich, it's a very lucrative time in which they build, sorry about that, which they build wealth, right, during a recession. And then for the ones who have very, very low credit scores, and it could be a very, I had to make that turn, right? So make sure my phone prop stayed up. It could be a very, very depressing time, right? So going into my topic, if you're in the Mississippi area, you definitely want to come out this Saturday for the Woman to Woman conference. And because I am one of the guest speakers at that conference, on the panelists, I want to share with you some things that you may or may not be aware of, right? I want to share with you some things you may or may not be aware of. For example, did you know that there are many, many, many business women mentioned in the Bible? And oftentimes, the most dominating or prominent businesswoman mentioned in Proverbs 31st chapter, Proverbs 31, is the virtuous woman. And for some reason, when you hear the message of the virtuous woman in church or churches, it's never preached from the perspective that this was a woman who had many businesses. That this was a businesswoman, right? She had many, many businesses. She sold wool. Her merchants was to and fro. She had maid servants in her home. You know, some people preach from the perspective of the virtuous woman, and she cooked and she did all this, and how no, she didn't cook. She had maid servants. She had many businesses. She was in real estate, agriculture. It says she went out and assessed the fields, right? So we do know that this lady was in real estate, and she sold fine linen. And then we look at Lydia in the Bible. Lydia, on the other hand, was a single woman, right? For women who want to be rich. She was not married. She was a single woman in the Bible. She had her own house. She was a seller of purple, right? Fine garnishment only for the rich and wealthy. You can find the story of Lydia in the book of Acts. And she used her home for the apostles to come and preach in. Her home was like it was a church in those days, because churches was not in the normal buildings that we see. You know, you spread the good news because it was unlawful. You can not talk about your religious beliefs or what your beliefs were, but you can host or have meetings within your homes. They were not buildings, and they would have these meetings in their home. And Lydia was a single woman who was very rich and lucrative in her business of selling a purple garnishments, right? And she sold to high-end clients, and she allowed the apostle Paul to come to her home and spread the good news of the gospel. So she was also saved, right? And then you have 2 Kings chapter 4, right? You have 2 Kings chapter 4, where you had the prophet Elijah. And within that same chapter, it's just good evening, Monique. It is just so I don't know if it's oxymoron, but he meets with a woman first initially, who's just husband just died. My motto to women is don't deal with a broken heart and a broken handbag, both at the same time. And so there are two things, like, right, if you are a woman, there are two things that will conclude or end any relationship or marriage, no matter how good it is, or maybe not so good, maybe bad. But there are two things, and I love alliteration, so both of them start with the letter D. And not the letter D you might be thinking of, but divorce or death. See, not the letter D you thinking of. That would eventually end a marriage or a relationship with your spouse. And so you need to be financially prepared for both. I call it financially fit, right? Because you don't want to deal with a broken heart and a broken handbag at the same time. And a divorce or death would definitely bring you a broken heart. So you need to be financially fit, so that you can mentally and emotionally deal with whether you're dealing with a divorce or death in any type of relationship, or anything that involves your emotions, or, you know, you're in love. And so I'm breaking out these women because it's often under-preached, right, and underappreciated, that the many business women in the Bible, because I think the Bible is the #1 bestseller for personal development and anything that you will want to achieve in life. And for example, did you know that there was a married couple mentioned in the Bible? A married couple, Aquila and Priscilla. Yeah, I think that's the husband's name, Aquila. I may be wrong, but and Priscilla, they were tent makers. And me, myself, personally, that's my vision. You know, I'm recently divorced, so that's my vision for my marriage coming up, that I will be married to a man who is very business-minded, right? We don't have to just do business together, per se, but he's business-minded, and he does not mind being married to a woman who is business-focused and minded as well. And so we can have discussions about our financial future, so we can have discussions about kingdom building, so that we can have enough where we are, finances is the very last thing that's an issue for us in our marriage, right? And that we are not only compatible or equally yoked in our beliefs about Jesus in the Bible, but we are equally yoked financially, emotionally, mentally, right? And with our honesty. So those are my things. So And speaking of 2 Kings chapter 4, for women who want to be rich, the number one thing I would tell you is that it does not take money to make money. We've always heard that myth that it takes money to make money. Or I would state it or say it this way. It doesn't take your money, right? Because I always say that credit is more so for middle class people or poor people than the rich and the wealthy. So why do I say that? Well, the rich and the wealthy always have their cash flow as leverage, right? They always can say, you know, hey, I have this much cash, let's make a deal. And oftentimes the deal may or may not be made. We know right now that the dollar is depreciating, is not highly valued. You know, like I said, we're coming up a recession. And so the dollar is not highly valued as it was. It's nothing backing the dollar. The dollar is known as yeah, Chad, great point. Why would the bank give you $25K? Oh, Chad, man, you made an awesome point. And I know my network is coming in and out, but I'm going to continue to talk, because even though my network comes in and out as far as my internet connection, once I upload this video, you still will see the full live, you know, video. So Chad, or, you know, it won't be any interruption. So Chad makes a statement that if cash is king, or having cash, or being a cash millionaire is so vital, if it's so important, if it's so priority, then why would the banks give you $25K in credit before they give you $25K in cash? Chad, I love your mindset. You're my type of person that I want to have a conversation with, right? So great point. And that's why I tell people, oh my God, I watched this documentary the other day, had Cuban Gooding Jr. in it. And it was about Cuban Jr. Gooding. It really touched my heart, because I teach in the public school system as well. And Cuban Gooding Jr., oh my God, what was the name of this documentary? For some reason, it was not on Netflix, but you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. I think the documentary was titled Life of a King. Life of a King. And a queen is always attracted to kings. So I couldn't help it when I was on YouTube. I said, I got to watch this documentary. I need to see what it's about. Life of a King had Cuban Gooding Jr. in it. And what he did was, he was the ex-convict, right, in Life of a King. And he needed a job. He didn't want to retort back to that lifestyle of that could get him incarcerated again and in the streets. And so he needed a job. His friend told him, hey, man, you know, I might can get you on as a custodian at this public school system. And he got him on as a custodian or as a janitor, whatever way you want to phrase it. And in doing so, the teacher, it was a lady that was teaching detention. And teaching detention, she had one of those days, right? One of those days, and the kids were not behaving, not responding to her. And she quit. She quit in the middle of her teaching day, right? And so as a custodian, the principal, you know, came into the classroom, reprimanded the students for their behavior. And she walks in the hallway and she see Cuban Gooding Jr., this is a true documentary. I forgot the oh my God, the person's name, but you can find this on YouTube. She sees him in the hallway and he's you know, doing his duties, his cleaning, and she said, hey, will you watch this detention class for me? You know, now they don't know he's an ex-convict because he was not honest on the application. He needed a job, right? And so she said, you know, I need you to watch this class. Will you watch this class for me? He goes in and watches the class. and the kids are doing nothing. They sit idle. And so he decides to teach them the game of chess. Right? He decides to teach them the game of chess. And so, hold on. I'm checking my mail, so give me a second. So in teaching them the game of chess, he teaches them that you also have to vision the end game, right? Other people's money, yeah. We can call it other people's money, or we can call it the bank's money. TBM. You can call it the bank's money. A lot of people don't look at credit cards for some reason as the bank's money. But people, when you get a credit card, it's going to have the name of the bank on it. Right, man, this sun is direct view of me today. If you have a Chase card, it's going to be Chase Bank. If you have a Bank of America credit card, it's going to be Bank of America. I can't think of any credit cards. But anyway, it's the bank's money. So you can call it other people's money. You can call it the bank's money, you know. Tomato, you know, whatever way you want to rephrase it. And so back to the documentary. You can find this on YouTube. 𝒞𝓃𝓃𝓁𝓎 Jr., right? Life of a King. And he teaches these young kids in detention the game of chess, right? He's teaching them a game of chess. And he states what I've always stated, that the king can move in so many directions, but the queen, you know, the king looks at more importantly, but the queen can move in multifunctional directions. So the king is not anything without the queen. And that's how cash works. Your cash is very worthless if you don't have that queen of credit. That's me, queen of credit. The name that was branded to me and not given to me by myself. The community gave that name to me. And let me make this statement real quick. There were two clients that that reached out to me, or two potential clients, I say it that way. Two potential clients that reached out to me and, you know, say, hey, you know, will you give me a credit consultation, blah, blah, blah. So one client, I was confused because their email had another name, but their credit report was their name. Their email was a fictitious name. And so I asked this client, I said, I'm confused because you're asking me to give you a credit consultation in this name, but your email is stating a totally different person's name. And that client responded, well, I'm paranoid about the, I had some good news. I just checked my mail. I'll share this with you all. Okay, DG. What's up, DG? Check my messages. All right, DG, I will try to do that. DG, I'm going to be honest with you. I have so many messages on Facebook and email that sometimes I don't check them because I'm overbooked and overwhelmed. You know, but I will try because you gave me a shout out on my live video, DG. I will make a notation of that, but I am overbooked and overwhelmed. And, but anyway, and so in this, and I have to share with you all. See, I fixed my own credit. I'll share this with you all in a few. In this, he teaches them chess because he said, you know, you won't end up in prison like I am because you'll learn how to vision the end game. And so there's one person, and I asked him, I said, well, why do you use a different name than what's your actual name? And I said, well, I'm paranoid. You know, I'm paranoid. I think somebody steal my identity. In my mind, I'm thinking, why would anyone steal your identity with bad credit? You can't even do anything with your name and credit. So why would somebody else try? And I told him, I said, hey, you're just not the client for me. I'm sorry. Because these are the same people that even if I quote them a price and they sign up for my consultation, it's not going to be worth it. They're going to be overly anxious. They're going to be paranoid. They're going to expect results fast, even though they slowly got themselves into bad credit. And they may not be as patient as it takes, because you know what? You have to be patient, right? You have to be patient when getting negatives removed from your credit report, just as patient as you were when you got those negatives placed on your credit report. Meaning that if it takes you 6 months of non-payment for an account to be now considered as a charge-off, or it take you 30 days of not paying that account for it to be, or 60 days or 90 days for it to be considered as late payment, just as patient as you were, I'm gonna say this real low, I'm going to whisper this, just as patient as you were to create that bad credit by not paying your creditors and getting those marks on your credit report negatively, because a charge-off takes 6 months of no payment, no response, you should be just as patient, right? To get the negatives removed. You should be just as patient. So I whispered that. That's a secret. That's a credit secret. A lot of people tell me, they'll sign up and say, hey, I bought this book or this whatever, Credit Secrets, and I think I'm going to do it myself. So will you give my money back? No, that was your decision. You know, that was your decision. That was your decision. If that book can give you everything you need, I will be the first to tell you it. But let me tell you, everybody's credit is different. I have some people who have charge-offs that was sold to another lender whose strategy is different. And then I come getting messages. And then I have some people who's charged off who were not sold to a debt collector or another lender. Their strategy is different. I have some people bankruptcy that's 5 years, 6 years old with no accounts connected to it that was discharged. Their bankruptcy removal is different. And then I have some people bankruptcy who is 1 year out of bankruptcy and they have 12 accounts connected to it. So that credit repair process is different. And so then I have some people with a 30-day late payment, some people with a 60-day, some people with a 90-day, some people with a 120-day. Everybody's credit situation is different. And there is no one book. There is no one book that's going to solve a multitude of different situations. That's why everything is customized. And that's why I don't quote prices, because everybody's negative or non-negative. Some people just need inquiries deleted. Some people are just trying to get approved for a home. Some people are just trying to approve for business credit, and they might have more than 6 inquiries in the last 6 months, and they need those inquiries removed. Everybody's situation is different, so I just don't have a one-size-fits-all. And there's no one do-it-yourself program or do-it-yourself book that's a one-size-fits-all either, right? So a book or a program may or may not be, fitting to your situation. So let me get to this. So there are many, many rich and wealthy people, women, not people, women in the Bible. You have Lydia, right, in the book of Acts. You have the Proverbs 31st woman, who's the epitome of women, who has many businesses. And she's married, and her husband just sit at the gates and praise his wife and says she's blessed, right? Lord, the Proverbs 31st woman is the model woman. I don't know why people preach on her, or preachers preach on her as a housewife. That's not what she is. And then you have the two women in 2 Kings. The first woman, husband died, and was in debt. Her sons was about to be sold, and the prophet Elijah told her to go borrow. And that's what I'm telling you to do. Use your credit to borrow. Stop saying it takes money to make money. It doesn't take your money. Use the bank's money to make money, right? Use the bank's money to make money, right? If you're watching this live on the replay, I want you to put this in the comment. Use the bank's money to make money. And lastly, because you are watching this live, this was not planned or impromptu, I'm going to show you my credit report. I want to try to show you all my fold this in half, because for some reason I got a just pop-up collection. I mean, this was something I didn't even know about. I didn't get a letter from a debt collector saying I owe a debt. I got a pop-up collection. You know how high my credit score is. But this is how credit works, people. So this is my name without my address. Tanya Deloach, right? I really didn't know where this collection came from. But then after it told me, it said, well, this is from, I think, DirecTV. They had DirecTV 3 years ago, right? So DirecTV sold this collection to ICT system. That's why I tell you it takes patience for your credit. Now, I think I mailed my dispute on about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It took 2 or 3 weeks for me to get this collection out. I'm not saying it's the same with you, right? Because every situation is different. But it took about 3 weeks total time from when I mailed it, from when dispute. And boom, I get the letter mailed today. Here are your results. ICT is deleted or removed from your credit report. Boom, I just don't fix your credit, right? I handle my pop-up situations as well. I'm like, Lord, I haven't heard anything from DirecTV. And now I'm going to get this 3 years later that is sold to a collection. I didn't know anything about it. So let's be real. Let's be raw. And again, if cash is really king, if it takes money to make more money, putting this back in the envelope, if it takes money to make more money, right, make sure my address is not showing. Then why would the banks give you $25,000 in credit first for a person that come in debt before, boom, collection deleted, before they give you $25K in cash? Why would the banks do that? Let me check my other mail. Why would the banks do that? So, hey, people, if we're going to get a crash, we're going to be through recession, get your credit up, use the bank's money, right, to make more money. It's the Queen of Credit here. You need to watch the replay, because as I was live, my connection was in and out. So you definitely need to watch this as I reload it, and also comment Queen of Credit. And what else I asked you to come in? I forgot. But hey, come out Saturday. If you're in the Mississippi area, it's Women's Conference, woman to woman. I'm going to break down things I don't share live or share on camera. If you're a woman, single, married, death or divorce, steps to take for your financial fitness, stability. You need it. I tell people all the time, why would you get taxed 26 to 32% out of your paycheck? That's one thing that the rich do also. Not only does the rich use the bank's money to make more money, the money that they earn is lower taxable income. See, the middle, and then everybody cries that the rich doesn't pay taxes. Well, they understand the game. They understand the game. They do it legally. And I'm trying to get the middle class to understand you need to do it legally as well, right? You need to, if you have a job and you're a W-2 employee, you need to learn these W-4 wealth strategies. Because the biggest expense you'll have, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a year, will be coming out of your paycheck if you don't learn these strategies. And how you can legally pay less in taxes and have $2,000, $3,000 or $500 to $1,000 a month coming home to you, so you can get out of some of this bad debt that you created. See, there's good debt and bad debt. Good debt is any debt that makes you money. Bad debt is anything that takes your money, right? And credit is the foundation of this all. The only way you're going to get good debt and you're going to use the bank money to make more money is your personal credit score. Personal credit report has to be, on point, right? On point. So come out Woman, thou art wealthy. That's my theme. I'm going to give you things and strategies that I will never share live. So don't ever think, hey, I just listen to enough of her videos. There's some things I would never say live, because it's some things you have to pay the cost to hear. So whether it takes your time, whether it takes your money, if you don't catch it live, you have to cash it. Come out. Every woman that was rich and wealthy in the Bible had one common denominator, one thing in common. And they had a business, right? Whether it's Priscilla, whether it's Lydia, whether it's the Proverbs 31st woman, whether it was the 2 Kings women, both of those women overcame financial issues. And men, you can overcome it too. My kings that's watching me live, you know, you want to connect with the queen, you should. You really should connect with someone. You don't want to be unequally yoked. They have the same financial, spiritual, mental views that you do about Jesus and about your finances and your future. That wants to travel, that wants to see the world, that want to raise kids in Christian home setting and teach them biblical principles, where one person's not going north and the other person's going south, but you all two are intertwined together and you're doing kingdom purpose and kingdom things. So hey, again, you're watching the replay. You can see my own disputes came in the mail today live. I wasn't planning this. It was impromptu. I checked the mail and boom, there it was. Had an unexpected collection that came on my own personal credit report. Thank you so much, Miss Griffin. I got it deleted 2-3 months, and if I can do that for me, I definitely can do it for you, right? Credit scores 820 something, man. I tell you, when that collection hit me, it dropped me like almost 100 points. It dropped me almost 100 points. I'm like, this account's 3 years old. I haven't even heard from I See Something Sister. They never even sent me anything in the mail saying I have an opportunity to validate the debt, but I just got it off my credit report. Just get it deleted. So hey, I'm signing off. Watch this 2-3 times over and over again. Go from good to great. Build your credit for the crash. And let's get this cash flow. Hey, I'm signing out, Queen of Credit, Cash Flow, and Collections. I hope you save thousands and hundreds of dollars from debt collectors who try to collect from you for a debt that's sold, right, illegally. So you have 30 days to respond. And when I respond in 30 days, you don't owe the money, right? You don't owe the money. Hey, this is it. Watch the replay.